So hold it there if you're a teenager or a young adult. This message is right for you if you're under the age of 30. Okay, so I want to talk to you about sight and insight. Sight and insight, two ways to see. Okay, two ways to see. Sight means to see with your eyes, insight means to see with your mind. Jesus in Mark chapter 8:18, okay, said they have eyes but they do not see, they have ears but they do not understand, they do not understand. Okay, and you don't want to be that. You don't want to be that. I'll tell you why. Just keep listening. Okay, and then St. Paul in Ephesians chapter 1 verse 18 says, I'll read it out. It says, I pray that the eyes of your heart, insight, I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened, in order that you may know the hope to which he has called you, the riches of his glorious inheritance in his holy people. I pray, the underlining point here is, I pray that the eyes of your heart, that's insight. And I tell a lot of young people, a lot of teenagers, a lot of young adults, listen, you cannot build your life on the foundation of sight alone, what you see with your eyes. Okay, you have to learn to develop your insight, what you see with your mind. That's what we call vision. What is your vision for your life? You cannot be going to school, returning home, building on a foundation that is without a vision, right? The first thing you want to do, if you want to be that teenager that will be impactful in our society, if you want to be that teenager that will be significant in our society, if you want to be that teenager that will make a difference, a mark in this generation or in your generation, then you must develop your vision. First of all, you have a vision. The foundation of your life must be on a vision. What do you want to be when you grow up? I know you've heard this question billions of times and you're bored, you don't want to hear it anymore, but you just have to hear it so that you understand it, so that at the point that the eyes of your heart be enlightened. What do you see in your mind's eyes about your own life? What do you see in your mind's eyes, your imagination about your future? When you envision your future, when you think about your future, what do you see? What do you see yourself doing? This should be what will build the foundation of your life. Okay, not what your daddy, not what your mommy, not what your auntie, not what your uncle, not what a guardian, not what a grannies think for you. What you have thought deeply and have decided, and you know that's what is burning in your heart to become. And then when after you have decided on that this is what I know that I really, really, truly want to become, then you pick a course. Okay, you pick a course that will help you, that will build you, that will develop you to become that which you see in your mind's eyes. Now, what is the vision for your life? A lot of you want to become this or that. Somehow in your heart, your mind is telling you want to be a lawyer that will fight corruption, a lawyer that will ensure that there is justice in the society. You see injustice in the society, and while everyone is passing and they don't care, in you, deep in you, you are feeling uncomfortable. You're having that burning desire to do something about it. And right now, you know you're a young adult, you're a teenager, you can barely do nothing about it. But there's this desire in you there's this restlessness. You know, there's something about you that repels injustice. Then study law. Study law. Study courses that will enable you to be able to fight the injustice that you hate to see in the society. Don't go and study medicine. Don't go and study engineering. Okay? Don't go and study any of the other courses. Think of that course that will help you develop that thing that you see in your mind's eyes about your future. That's the way to go. Okay, and you see yourself, you're a very compassionate person. Whenever you see sick people, you want to help them, you want to treat them, you want to see them healed, you want to see how you can give them first aid while others are passing and they don't care. You want to see yourself rushing to that wounded person and administer that treatment or that first aid or something. Then why don't you consider being a nurse or something that has to do with health? Maybe a doctor, maybe a nurse, or something that has to do with health. So that's how it goes. What do you see in your mind's eyes? That thing that you see in your mind's eyes should be what will help you to structure your life, to structure your destiny, to structure your future. Not what any other person thinks for you, except what one they are thinking. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Okay, while I was growing up, my dad always said, you have to be a teacher, you have to be a teacher, you have to be a teacher. He kept singing it like, and I hated it because I didn't want to be a teacher. I didn't want to be a teacher because I always considered their salary. Like, teachers are poor people, really. So I didn't want to be a teacher because I didn't like their pay. I didn't want to be poor. I said no to poverty, you know. And my dad was still always singing it. My dad was seeing the gifts that I have in me. All right, he saw that I could teach, that I always loved children, that I always gather children, and I was always teaching them one thing or the other. My dad kept seeing it, and he kept saying, I know you do well as a teacher. I never saw it myself until I started growing up. Of course, my mind's eyes, I started looking inward, that what this man is saying is actually true. I have this gift, I have that gift. I know I truly love children. I was only, not liking teaching because of the salary, right? Eventually, I went to the university and I studied education. Today, I'm a teacher. And I love myself. I love my profession. I love my career. I've written books. I'm teaching, yes, and that's why I'm teaching you today about sight and insight. Insight is more important than sight, because without what you see in your mind's eyes, what you see physically will mean little or nothing. It's only when you can see accurately with your mind's eyes, okay, that what you see physically will not mislead you. I tell you that, okay. Now I'll give another example. Chimamanda Adichie. Chimamanda Adichie started off by studying medicine and medicine or pharmacy or something like that, okay, and she did that about a year and a half, okay, before she looked inward and saw what she had in her mind's eyes. Now, it wasn't anything that had to do with medicine. It wasn't anything that had to do with surgery. It wasn't anything that had to do with healing and treatment and all of that. Okay, she saw that she could write. When she saw with her mind's eyes, she then realized that she could write. What I see in my mind's eyes is that I can write. Okay? And they said, go and study medicine, continue with your medicine. She said, no, I'm done with medicine. And then she came out and she studied. Eventually she studied communication, and then went ahead to study creative writing. And today everyone knows Chimamanda Adichie. Let's say she did not check inward to see what she was seeing with her mind's eyes. Yes, she would have graduated from medicine, right, and maybe probably become a doctor, but she may not find fulfillment. She may not be a notable person eventually. She may just be a doctor earning good pay, good salary. But today she is more than salary. All right, her name has weight because she looks inward to see what she had in her mind's eyes, and then she allowed her sight to direct her to that which she needed to become. So that's what I'm telling you, teenagers. That's what I'm telling you, young adults. Discover what you see in your mind's eyes. Pay special attention to what you see in your mind's eyes, because that is what will guide you to becoming that which you are destined to be. Your mind's eyes is more important than your sight, your physical eyes, the one that things that you can see with your eyes. Okay, so dear teenagers, dear young adults, I want to leave you with this line. If you can write this down, that's okay. Okay, you need to let your vision, okay, build your life's foundation, so that you do not build your life on a regrettable foundation. I'll say that again. You need to let your vision, okay, build your life's foundation, so that you do not build your life on a regrettable foundation. So I'll just leave you with that. All right, let that sink in, digest in you, and guide you, to become my aim, all right, is to help you to become that which you are destined to be, to make your path a very beautiful and smooth one, not the one that after you have built your foundation and then you're regretting, and then you don't know how to to go back to start correcting some of the errors that you have made. No. As a teenager, as a young adult, this page is here for you, all right, to be guiding you, to be helping you, to be structuring you, to be directing you, to be mentoring you. Yes, that's what we're here for. Okay, so I want to tell you that if you have not yet subscribed, if you have not yet followed this page, you have to do that right now. Just Just go ahead and do that right now.